pain is very often a gift. Not all the time, but very often it's a gift. It's the way of the universe, of God, of divine, telling you to pay attention. Picture this. The universe is trying to get you to pay attention to something going on inside of you, usually, which then is affecting what's going on outside of you. So the universe tickles you with a feather and says, hey, pay attention. And you ignore her. And so further down the line, universe says, okay, this one isn't listening. Let me get a pebble. And she whacks a pebble back of your head, a more painful event. It hurts at the time. You look around and you shrug it off and you ignore it. And the universe says, okay, this one really doesn't want to listen. So universe gets a bigger event, gets a rock, whacks it on your back. It is much more hurtful. You might even shed a few tears, but you continue. And then the next thing, the universe says, this one's a stupid one. And the universe gets a boulder, whacks it, or drops it on your toes. But a lot of people would ignore it. And so the next level, the mountain comes crashing down on you. So what does this mountain look like in terms of your health? If you're someone with type 2 diabetes, it might look like you've got cancer, you've just had a heart attack, a stroke, or in the case of Mr. Rahmat, your leg amputated. Mr. Rahmat had had diabetes for many years, but of course, he ignored the lessons. And so initially he started having sensations on his left foot, on his soles. And these sensations were a bit numbing. He started losing sensation, and then he developed a corn underneath his feet, and he started cutting the corn off. Of course, he was suffering from diabetic neuropathy, which is basically the death of your nerve cells, the endings of your nerves. What happens in those cases is the oxygen is not reaching your nethermost regions, your toes, your feet. As a result, your nerve cells also do not receive oxygen, and so they start dying off. What's causing this? Sugar. But of course, Mr. Rahmat was the hero. He thought, okay, I'm not feeling anything, and the corn was coming up, and he started cutting away the corn. He didn't feel the cut because there's no nerves to feel it. But eventually it got so bad, he started developing gangrene, and then he had to have his leg amputated simply because the gangrene would have continued up his leg. And that's when the mountain comes crashing down. How do you spot the signs that your type 2 diabetes has gone too far? Well, the fact that you have type 2 diabetes is already too far. And this is where you must pay serious attention. So in this video, let's talk about 3 key things you can do to actually help reverse type 2 diabetes. Number 1, the thing that everybody knows about is about the food that you eat. Let's be honest, you, me, and everybody else on the planet who has access to any kind of media, television, especially back in the days, when we only had television and radio, we were brainwashed with all the manufactured foods, the sugary foods, and we become slave to these foods. As a result, sugar and all the elements that create blood sugar spikes destroys your organs, destroys your arteries, and of course destroys your nerve cells. You do not need it. It's not that you can't have sweet foods like berries, like blackberries and strawberries and blueberries. It's not that you can't have it. It's just that A, you're having too much of it. B, you're having the wrong type. So number 1, and this video isn't going into intimate detail about every single one of them, but number 1, you must eliminate, if you've got type 2 diabetes, eliminate anything that contains sugar. If it's natural sugar, like certain fruits, fine, go for it. But do it in moderation. Don't overindulge. So number 1, sugar. But anything else that contains sugar, cakes, biscuits, cookies, all processed foods. Processed foods taste so yucky and horrible, they have to overload it with sugar and salt. So you must eliminate that. Number 2, very, very simple and very important. There's a number of habits that you have to change. Your sleeping habits impact on your ability to heal from type 2 diabetes. There's a direct correlation. So you got to change your habits of sleeping. When you eat is very important. Eating big meals in the evening is an absolute no-no. We've been very brainwashed to think we need to have 3 meals a day. We need to have these cereals. It's all bullshit. Fed to you by corporate marketing for only one reason, for their profits. You've got to change a whole series of habits. Find out what these habits are. Your lifestyle has got you to where you are now. Let me give you a bit more bad news. And this isn't all about bad news, of course, but a bit more bad news. One bad piece of bad news is this. There is no cure for type 2 diabetes. Absolutely zilch, zero. Type 2 diabetes, people are taught to manage it with metformin and other drugs. And of course, you've got all the side effects, which I won't even go into. That is about managing and, in other words, keeping your type 2 diabetes. I'm saying, no, get rid of the damn thing. You do not deserve it. You deserve far better. The lifestyle choices that you made, thinking this is part of your family, this is who you are, it's all BS. If it's not serving your body, if it's not serving your mind, all the lifestyle issues, start shifting your habits bit by bit. And, go to an expert, not just me, but there's other experts out there. Go to someone who's got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of wisdom, and knows how to keep you on track. It's very important. It's about changing habit bit by bit. And then the third thing, and in my mind, the most important thing, this is why I specialize my entire last decade or more in this field, which is this. The reason you make the choices you make, the food choices, the sleeping choices, the activity, the relationships, your career, everything, the things you do, the things you avoid, and the things you just don't do, all of those are driven, 99.9% of all of those are driven by what happened in your first 7 years of life. You see, most of us are walking around so traumatized, so effed up, that we constantly beat ourselves up. But the truth is, it's to do with, using computer technology and social media technology, it's to do with your algorithms. It's to do with the programming that was embedded inside of you. That, my friend, that's programming, that map, that blueprint helps you navigate all the thoughts you have, the feelings, the intentions, the perceptions of your reality, all the people you attract, all the people you avoid, all of that was created without you even knowing. And you may not have known it until today, by the way, without you even knowing that it happened in the first 7 years of life. There's one thing, healing a trauma. But here's the problem. If you heal a trauma, it's like taking a blueprint, an architect's blueprint to build a house. Let's say I'm living in a house which is 3 or 4 bedrooms, garage, and so on. And let's say this house, heaven forbid, was to collapse. And they came along, and said, hey, we're going to build a bigger house for you. We're going to build a 7-story building. Will the blueprint that was used to build this house be able to build a 7-story building? The answer is an emphatic no way, Jose. It's not going to happen. In order to change this kind of building you want, the kind of structure you have, you must invest in a new blueprint. It is the same for you, my friend. In the first 7 years of your life, your parents raised you. You had teachers, you may have had religious teachers, the community, society, social media, not social media if you're my age, media. You've got all of that contributing to your blueprint. Some of it's good, some of it doesn't matter, and some of it is downright destructive. When you work with an expert who knows how to shift that, you've got to first remove the trauma and then replace it with a new algorithm, a new program that serves you. You don't just randomly pick it from the air. There's nothing general about it. It has to be very, very specific to you. If you feel you want to shift not just your type 2 diabetes, but actually the thing that caused it in the first place, then drop me a line, comment below, or send me a message. Get hold of me through social media. If you know my details already, contact me and let's talk. Let's figure out how we can shift your blueprint and your lifestyle choices that you've made in the past, shift it to ones that serve you. Hope this has been very useful. Thanks for watching. Make sure you share this video, like this video, love this video, whatever you want to do. Share this, download it, and please, please, please don't wait till tomorrow, because tomorrow is too late.